And we're live. Welcome everybody to NorCal Gooners. Number five. Number five. We. Number five. We. Oh. 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 How was that going? Sorry. Freaked out a little bit. Um. Anyway, let's start all over. I'll cut that out. Anyway, let's start all over. I'll cut that out. Anyway, let's start all over. I'll cut that out. Anyway, let's start all over.
Are we echoing too?
No, it's just me. I've got a couple things
Okay.
messed up, but you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to NorCal Gooners number 5. Today is October 16th, 2020, and let's kick off today by saying welcome to the Partey. Thomas Partey. What do you guys think?
Fucking world-class signing. What are you talking about, dog? Giving me what
It's
do I
about
think?
time we party.
It's about time we party. That's what I'm saying. We finally got our mans.
Finally, man.
Spine.
Finally.
Finally.
The person who's expected to be what Vieira was, right?
Yeah. At least in my eyes, I mean, the figures, they look almost like pretty similar to just their statures, I guess.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can try to replicate the same success and the same dominance in the midfield.
As we once had.
I bet all the United fans are really hating us right now because they have nobody to compare.
Ooh,
We don't have that Roy Keane.
They
Roy
signed
Keane, Patrick Vieira.
They signed Tejas though, and they signed Facundo and Cavani. They should be ecstatic. They could have signed Sancho, but they signed all those guys.
I was gonna say
Not Sancho.
They're no Sancho. Let's just put it that way. So speaking to a couple of my United friends, they're like, whatever, dude. We already want the season to be over. I was like, wow,
damn, it
just started, dude.
Yeah, literally.
Like we're barely like what, week 4, week 5? Jesus. I was like, is that bad, huh? I was like, we wanted Sancho, man. We were promised him, and now we got sloppy seconds, man. Like, what do you want us to do? I was just like, you chose your club.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Finally happened, dude. Thomas Partey, we got our man. We were after him all summer. He was the first person we were like heavily after in the summer. And finally on deadline day, when it came down to the wire on deadline day, we finally got him. Atletico not happy that Arsenal triggered the release clause on the last day without the opportunity to sign somebody. But you know what? They act like we didn't just send them Lucas Torreira. I think Lucas Torreira is more suited for La Liga. I think he'll thrive there. And there's your Thomas Partey replacement, your enforcer.
Yeah, I mean it's a like for like swap, in my opinion. I think Atletico should be happy. I think they're just making a big fuss about it for, I don't know, maybe make some headlines. But
yeah.
I mean, like you said, I mean, it's not like they didn't get a player in return, you know.
Cheers,
I can
guys.
play the same spot.
Pretty much.
Wifey just brought me an IPA here.
Oh damn! I got nothing right now. I'm dry.
I have H2O. That's all I have.
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited. I would hope to see him in the starting lineup. You know, that would be a dream, just so that way we can kind of show off our newest player. But will he start? I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't think we will know until the game. It's kind of hard when you sign a player and then he goes on international break and he's trained with the team a couple times, you know. But I think Partey's got that class. I think he might be able to just kind of slot in. Now, if he does play, he'll still play. I think Arteta will still play the 5 5-2-3. I don't think he's gonna immediately try to switch to the 4-3-3 he's trying to play.
3-3, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
guess
why
you
try
could
to
call it
fix something that's
the
not broken?
3-4-3. Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I'm excited to have him at our club. I wish we could have added a couple of more, but Gabriel is looking to be a top talent right now.
Yep.
And then William, I think he still has a point to prove in an Arsenal shirt. I mean, obviously it's
Yeah.
still very early doors, but the signs are there that we got a fucking. Well, I mean, I know we have a quality player. It's just whether or not he can replicate that same form for us this season. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Time will tell. We will see in these matches.
How do you think Thomas Partey is gonna slot into the squad? Is it gonna be quickly? Do you think he'll need a little bit of time? You've seen that we didn't really start seeing the output that Nicola Pepe had until pretty much the second half of last season. So I'm kind of interested in how quickly we're gonna be able to get Thomas Partey up to speed.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a little bit of an excuse almost, in my opinion, that players need time to adjust to the league or whatever.
I can see why you
Get
feel like
used
that.
to the physicality of things. I was like, nothing has changed other than your geographical location. Like you're still playing football,
Pretty much.
like that has not changed.
Well, I mean, there's arguments. So, Lucas Torreira he's leaving Arsenal, a side that plays the league and 3 cups simultaneously, and I will definitely argue that English, or let's call it British football, is a lot more physical than something like La Liga. La Liga is very technical. It's very fast-paced passing, and you just don't have the enforcers like you do in the Premier League, or let alone the Scottish League, or if you watch the Scottish League, Rangers, Celtic, all those guys, it's crazy, man. The fouls and stuff that they get away with, and the bodying they do. The Premier League not as rough, but still a rougher league, playing 4 competitions simultaneously with multiple squad rotations and all of that. So sometimes it does feel like kind of like it's an excuse. You're still playing football, but it's like Thomas Partey is about to go from a passing dominant league to a very physical, attack, defend league, and it's going to be high paced, and it's going to be a different beast for him.
True. I could definitely see that side of the argument. We're just, I guess it's going to depend more just on his fitness levels and just whether or not, we can try to keep him healthy, just so that he can play, the games necessary for us to be successful this season. But I think just with the addition overall, he's going to add a lot of depth into our squad regardless.
Yeah.
Now that we got, Denny Ceballos back on loan again, that's a nice little addition, a nice little creative spark. You get that steal now with, Shaka, who can pick out a pass from anywhere. And then you got also Thomas Partey now. And, we've been, doing our YouTube scouting, so we've been watching the highlights of what this guy can do. So hopefully, we'll see some of that tomorrow.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys were watching any of the press conferences or anything like that, but Arteta was actually asked. A lot of people are excited to possibly see Thomas Partey versus Kevin De Bruyne in that midfield. And of course, Mikel Arteta gave his the political answers. He can't just say, yeah, for sure, Thomas Partey's playing tomorrow, and maybe not, but it would be an exciting thing.
Do you think the players already know, kind of going into like the day of the match and not finding out the day of that they're going to start?
That's a good question, man, because they have to submit the match sheet.
The final
like what, a couple hours before the game actually starts?
I think it's like 2 hours or so, like right before, and then
Yeah.
they do their thing behind the scenes to then send out the mass notification out to the rest of the world. Like this is the starting lineup
Um. Yeah. I don't.
because like
I don't know.
at least like from what I saw from watching the All or Nothing for the Tottenham special or whatever that they did. Um, at least Mourinho already had his starting lineup like a couple of days before.
Yeah,
So
that
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense. You got that way you can work set pieces, you can work the trainings the way you want that specific team to play, and it's not like they don't have meetings and talk about it all week, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah, it could be that all the players know, a few days in advance. Um,
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Whether or not he already knows in the back of his head, maybe his staff already knows too
yeah, and as
about
a
who's starting.
yeah, as a manager, what do you do? Do you tell the opposing manager who you're gonna play when you're gonna play them? I think that has a lot to do with it too. That's why they're so secretive about the squads.
See, and that's where like I feel like a lot of the matches played off the pitch too, because what I saw today was that Pep Guardiola was reporting that Kevin De Bruyne is actually out for tomorrow's match.
What?
He is.
hmm
Hmm.
So I
Ooh.
don't know if they're kind of playing, possum or just trying to like,
Yeah.
psych the other, manager out because obviously they work together.
Yeah.
So they know, the kind of ins and outs and just like how they operate. But what they don't know is, all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes now because they're both at their own respective clubs.
Very
So
true.
I don't know. Like, is Kevin De Bruyne out? That'll be a big boost for us because who else are they missing? They're missing Kun Agüero, Gabriel. Kun Agüero's just barely coming back to fitness.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva just came back, so
It's an
he looks like
international
he's
break.
still catching up. So like,
Yeah.
who really do they have up top other than Kevin?
Yeah, I think you can't really underestimate Phil Foden. So he's a talent. But you've got essentially you're gonna have Riyad Mahrez, Phil Foden, and who strikes for them? Who if Aguero and Jesus aren't healthy, who starts for them? Maybe Raheem starts up there.
Well,
I don't
Raheem's
know.
definitely going to be up there for sure. Who was the other young striker that they signed? I think he's like Spanish. It's like Fernando.
Uh,
Oh,
Fernand Torres or something like that, or like
Ferran
Yeah,
Torres.
something.
That's it. Yep.
I think he's a
Yeah,
Ferran.
right
that's what it
mid.
is.
Ferran Torres.
It's a right mid, I think. Ferran, there you go.
Yeah, but right mids, right wings, they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it should be an interesting contest tomorrow, regardless. Obviously, we're pulling for our boys to do well.
To win,
Especially, yeah. I mean,
bring those 3 points.
we gotta get those 3 points, man. We gotta keep climbing up that table, man. Because right now we're sitting fourth. Where
Yeah.
some
Top
of
three, here we
our
come.
the other teams, have some tougher fixtures. Or actually, we have a pretty tough fixture ourselves. So I don't know. This would be, I think, kind of a statement win
I think so
if
too.
we
I
were
th-
to.
I think it's going to send a message that Arsenal's going to contend for the top four now, which
hmm
I think is a very,
For
very valid possibility. Um, so on that note, let's talk about the transfer window overall. Let's give it a rating. Let's start with Uli since he's new today and he's the first time on the show. Let's get his opinions on the transfer window. How did we do? Give it a number rating.
I would give it a high 7.
I 7. Okay.
High 7 because yeah, because okay, for example, I've been reading that with Saliba, we might send him on loan again since pretty much we got Gabriel and then he's been doing pretty good work. Partey, for example, has been like the top one, which should give us like that like game we needed in the midfield because because it's because we're missing was defenders and midfield, pretty much. We have the attack with Laka, Aubameyang, Pepe, pretty much everybody we have. But yeah, Partey should be strong addition. Gabriel's been pretty good, and pretty much to me, only time will tell. Game by game, we will see.
Yeah. Okay, so Uli starts with the high 7. What did you think, David?
I would like to agree. I think only because we waited until the last day, I want to give it like a 7.5. Like I hate how we are just notorious for, just waiting until the last moment, to actually, complete a transfer. Someone, with the caliber of Thomas Partey. But I understand why they actually waited as long as they did, or I would understand why they would have waited. Only because it sounded like Hussein was definitely the top target. And they were kind of just trying to wait and see, how that would kind of develop, whether or not we were able to be successful in that signing. And then maybe, fall back on Thomas Partey, which we did. And eventually, with him being our second target that we wanted. So, I mean, I can understand, like, why they waited so long to sign Thomas, but, like, it's still, like, we could have already had him in the squad a month ago.
Yeah. You guys gave it 7, high 7, 7.5. I'm gonna go ahead and give it just a solid 8. I understand what you're saying with the whole waited till the last minute, but I think it has a lot to do with just kind of the gymnastics of going through a transfer window. You start off with Thomas Partey and you start off trying to negotiate with Atletico. They basically refuse to negotiate and they're saying that you have to pay the release clause. Now, what that tells Arsenal is, okay, Atletico's not willing to listen to offers. Anybody that wants to come in for him has to pay the release clause. We're going to attempt to go after other targets, and at the end of after we see how those pan out, we can come back and we can pay the release clause. Or if we hear rumors of another team getting close to paying the release clause or showing interest, then we can step in and counter offer and be like, Partey, Thomas, come this way. So I think that's just kind of what they, the strategy they pursued. They ended up going after Aouar, knowing that they could come back and trigger the clause at any time for Partey. And they pursued Aouar, and you heard it for weeks. And after Lyon bosses wouldn't budge, then it was they had to go for Partey, and they went for it. I think it was a strategic thing. I think if, let's say, Juventus had decided we want Partey, and they came out and they offered to pay the release clause, I think Arsenal would have come and been like, wait, don't go there, come over here. Because once you signal the intent of paying the release clause, it's up to the player to decide where he wants to go. And it sounds like Arsenal had already sweet-talked Thomas, and I think Partey knew all summer that he was going to be an Arsenal player at the end of the window. Yeah, we left it to the last moment, and that's always frustrating. But we got our man, so we got Thomas. I think Gabriel has been outstanding, just phenomenal since he signed. Which kind of goes back to the point we made earlier. It does sometimes feel like an excuse for a player moving to a new league. Gabriel Magalhaes gets there and starts tearing it up, and he came from the exact same team as Nicolas Pepe, who took a while to slot into the team or to start performing the way we want him to perform. But yeah, we re-signed Abba. We brought Danny Ceballos back on loan, which is huge. I don't think people realize just how big.
He's so underestimated, man.
They just don't realize how important that is to bring him back. If Ceballos isn't there, you're gonna play. Who do you play? You've got Xhaka and El Neni. or you've got Partey and Xhaka, Partey El Neni, and you don't have the opportunity to switch to that three-man midfield that Arteta. We all know he wants to play. And then we re-signed Aubameyang, huge signing. We got we don't forget we sold Emi Martinez and bought a backup keeper for a fraction of what we sold him for. So that's good business there. Signed a couple youngsters. I think overall, I think it was an 8. If we had gotten Houssem Aouar, I would have flat out 10 out of 10. I would have said 10 out of 10.
I would give it 9. Yeah,
I agree.
But
too.
You have to admit, everybody's buckling down. COVID has everybody kind of strapped for cash. So, I'm gonna go solid 8. That's my rating for it.
Okay, that's very respectable. I also want to, kind of just throw this out there that, with like the TV rights that the Premier League gets, do you think that other clubs and other leagues know that there's that kind of money sitting around, in these Premier League clubs, and they're just ready to splash the cash, so they're gonna just bide their time and try to get as much as they can, especially when they do hear that a Premier League club is interested in one of their players.
Yeah. Oh, that has a lot to do with it too. You hear somebody like Arsenal's coming for your player. You
It's
absolutely
he just
hold
jumped
out
up 20 mil.
Yeah, you milk it. You try to get as much as you can for that. And a lot of times teams are willing to negotiate and let your player go for, let's say you want 40 million. Okay, well we'll let them go for 32 million and 15 million in add-ons or something, And in the long run they end up with more money. But yeah, that's definitely a factor. I can almost guarantee it.
That's crazy, man. So much money in this sport.
Yeah, so much.
Some say it's ruining the sport, but it's entertainment at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a little tough to say it's just ruining the sport. I think a combination of like financial fair play and things like that is definitely making it so that the big teams will always be the big teams,
Yeah.
But to go as far as saying it's ruining the sport, I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I hear. That's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Other, other people that do podcasts, other people that I watch on YouTube, they say money is ruining the sport, but it's like wine. Everything is subjective,
Yeah.
Subjective and objective.
Exactly. Now, what do you guys think about for the last couple seasons? Even when we made it out to the Arsenal game in LA, the cries, Cronky, we cared to you, Cranky out, and finally, we hear Cronky splash the cash. Cronky put the money in and said, "Go ahead, buy Partey." Is that a sign of progress, or you think it's just he was kind of backed into a corner for it? What do you guys think?
I think he was backed into a corner.
Of both.
I think for sure he's backed into a corner. I don't know. I mean, given the fact that there hasn't been any fans for what, 9 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt your bottom line for sure. So, I mean, who else are you gonna rely on other than like your sponsorships that you get and the endorsements that you get as a club, to help finance the club? It's got to be the owner.
Yeah, that's the only place the money could come from at this point.
And we know he's got deep pockets, so
yeah,
it's about time he starts pulling out his own money, to actually finance our team so that we can get back to where all of us fans want to be, which is the Champions League eventually or inevitably and hopefully. But yeah, I think I really do think he was just kind of put in that position that where he had to spend some money.
Just bring out his wallet and be like, "All right, here, guys, just buy players."
Yeah. Hopefully it is a sign of progress. Hopefully, we know that if Arsenal wants to challenge for the title, for the league, there has to be major investment. Like, don't get me wrong, we love, we have the players we have and we love them, but um, you have to have a lot more depth than what we have if you want to challenge for a league and to get cups. There has to be investment, and hopefully that's a sign of Stan Kroenke and Kroenke Sports Entertainment, their admission that they will have to spend some money to get to where they want to be.
Absolutely, because like the model that we're on right now, I mean, it's obviously not working. Let's be real, and I feel like a lot of the players that we get, like that are like the superstars of our team, so to speak, like the Alexis Sanchez's and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I feel like we get them all with like at different times and not like all at once to kind of create like the invincibles that we had before.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of comes down to the fact that the board maybe doesn't want to like re-sign a player for whatever reason, and then we let those players go, and then we bring in a new crop of players, and then only one is like a hit or whatever. But like if we have like all these players that we know that are like world class players that we once had all together at one time, I think that's when I would only imagine we would be challenging a lot more. So that's where I'm kind of coming from when it comes to the Aubameyang signing. The extension is massive because now we're starting to see the likes of Thomas Partey, coming to the side, and we still got Lacazette, we got Willian, leading our lines, we got Pepe, all these guys that we have, still a few more years, with them. So hopefully this is the start of something positive and progressive for Arsenal going forward.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it's a good season, but we'll see.
I mean, so far so good. We're sitting in fourth right now, while everyone else that are supposed to be contending,
we're sitting in fourth behind Everton.
God damn. I mean, let's be real. Who would have thought that would Everton and Aston Villa would be sitting in first and second place?
Mm-hmm.
After 4 weeks.
Yep. Nobody. Villa barely even survived last season.
I know. They were 17th. And then now they're sitting in second place.
If Villa gets relegated, Jack Grealish would be an Arsenal player. No, I'm kidding. But
we could use somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the price for English players, man, it's at least three times the amount any other
when
player.
When you pay what was it, 80 million for Harry Maguire? Yeah.
The fridge.
The fridge. Everybody calls him the fridge.
The blockhead.
I saw
useless.
I watched the video of AFTV put out a video of them dancing. They did a song, a Thomas Partey song, and like Robbie from AFTV got so much heat for the way he was dancing, how stiff he was. Everybody was giving him crap, and somebody went out and called him out. And was like, "Hey, you could still turn faster than Harry Maguire, though." that was a good one.
That's a good one.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk about the match tomorrow. Well, tonight if you're in England.
Matches.
What do you guys think? Versus City. Pep Guardiola versus Mikel Arteta. The student versus the master. We've already beat them once. Can we do it again?
If we come out strong, pretty much. But I guess to me is this week, this is one of those matches where we will see in the match because it is because like it's two strong teams, and who knows, just one might choke up and then and the other takes advantage, and that's just how the cookie will crumble in that game.
Yeah, I hope we see something like with Leicester where everybody in the back line except Nathan Ake caused the penalty. Hopefully we get some of those penalties. Um, yeah, it's gonna be an
Um,
interesting game. I think you're right where first one to slip up is really gonna pay for it. Um, let me go with my squad prediction. Across the top, you're gonna have Abba, Laka, Willian. I honestly think Partey's coming in as a sub. I think we're gonna start Shaka El Neni like we have been, and in the back, depending on whether or not Tierney will be allowed to play, we still haven't heard. He came in contact with somebody with the virus while on international duty, so they said he had to quarantine. But Arsenal has been fighting that. Hopefully Tierney's back. If he is not, we're gonna see AMN in that spot. Our back three, Holding, Luis, and Gabriel, and then Bellerin on the right. I think that's going to be a pretty good squad. I think Thomas Partey gets like 30 minutes in the second half, and I think he's going to tear it up. But I could see this game going either way, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel that the injuries to both teams still favor Arsenal because, I mean, with Gabriel being out, with Goon, still getting back up to any type of fitness. Sterling he's been good. And then this other guy Torres, the Ferran Torres.
Yeah.
Like we still really haven't seen too much of him to really kind of, or at least for me to have any kind of opinion on whether or not he's gonna hurt us in tomorrow's match. But I mean those are two still really big hits. You lost what it is. You're out and out. Striker or center forward. You're number 9. You lost both of them. So I feel like I think it's gonna be a toss up because I think that our front line is good enough to take on what they have back there right now.
Yeah. I agree with that
Um,
100%.
what's his name? Diaz. Diaz is their new center back. So
All
they're
right,
probably gonna
right,
have
right.
Diaz. They're probably gonna have Ake, Mendy,
I thought I
and
saw
then
Ake might be out, actually.
Ake might be out.
I
Okay.
thought I saw that. I could be wrong, but
Oof.
I mean, there you go. Just more injuries. Um, but I do believe we will win this game.
oh,
Like trying to take out any type of bias whatsoever. I think trying to put myself in like a neutral perspective, I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be scoring on both sides. So my prediction will be 2-1.
2-1, 2-1 Arsenal. Okay. I think that's a good prediction. Oh,
Seems fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
I think it's a good prediction.
oops. I am not savvy with
We
this
got Fern over
score.
here.
There we go. There we go. How do I add somebody?
So Uli, what would be your prediction?
Honestly,
I'm terrible with this.
I would say like I said, would say like a 2-1 as well because it's those games that who knows who knows who will win. They may be Man City, it might be us. It's just I think to me it's just one of those games that we will see in those 90 minutes.
I mean, I think we are
But
playing in Manchester as well. So if that adds any type of advantage to City nowadays, I think I'm going to stick with my prediction with the 2-1 just because
2-1.
it's going to
Yeah.
be close. I feel, or it might be a blowout. We might beat them 4-0. I don't know. But the more sensible side of me says 2-1.
Okay.
Oh, and we even forgot that Kevin De Bruyne might be out, but he might play. I don't know.
And that's like
Yeah, I think I was wrong there.
and that's
I
big.
don't see anything on Nathan Ake. Uh, I don't
Yeah,
think I.
well, that's all right. While Sergio gets that figured out, we can go through the other fixtures that we have. At least for tomorrow, we have Everton
Liverpool and Everton.
versus Liverpool. We got one team firing on all cylinders, Everton,
Who's in
and
first place?
Ooh, the
the
derby.
defending and then the defending champions
Who are in fifth place currently?
who stumbled massively versus Aston Villa. What are your thoughts, Uli? Score predictions.
If I think to me, it's with Everton. If they come out run and gun, just like the first 3-4 matches of being powerhouses, and they happen to catch just one slip up from Liverpool, they will take advantage and they could probably take the match. Because Liverpool hasn't had like a really good start, like they've been okay, but I would, in a way, I'm rooting for Everton this match. Score wise, I would say 1 or 2 goals of a difference either way, but once again, we will see tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna call it in Liverpool's favor, just to kind of give a different perspective on what I think. So I think for sure there's going to be goals regardless.
Yeah.
Jordan Pickford hasn't been making a very good case to be England's number one, in my opinion. Their defensive line is still good enough, but some of the shots I feel like that have gone in, I think he could have done better to stop them. So I'm kind of predicting a higher scoring game. So I'm thinking 3 Liverpool, regardless of whether or not who is their starting keeper. I'm gonna go 3-2. 3-2 to Everton
Oh,
or to Liverpool, excuse me.
Three
right.
two Liverpool. Okay.
They are also playing with their backup keeper too. I remember,
Yeah, they're playing with Adrian right now,
and he hasn't
who
been
is
not that
is
great
a
right now.
questionable number 2 at best. He has not convinced me, especially after the Aston Villa game. I
Oof.
mean, to be fair, a lot of those goals were deflected, and you can just
I'm.
you just can't do anything. That's just how it is.
Hey,
But
real quick. Yeah, I'm terrible at Discord. Sorry, Fern. I don't know how to add you to our convo. We'll get you invited next week. Carry on, David. Go for it.
but just both keepers have just been, I don't know. I feel like they've been a little dodgy. But so that's why I'm thinking that it might be a goal fest. I'm thinking 2-3
Yeah.
in Liverpool's favor.
I'm gonna say there's gonna be an upset. I'm gonna go with Everton. Everton 2, Liverpool 1. That's what I'm going with.
Okay. All right. Next fixture we got is Chelsea versus Southampton. I don't know how Southampton has been doing. They are currently sitting in 11th place. They have 2 wins and they have 2 losses. So they're sitting on 6 points right now.
They got spanked by Tottenham, right?
I
think so. I think it was
believe
a high
so.
scoring game too. So we got sorry, who are they playing? Who's Southampton playing?
Chelsea.
We have not seen a good Chelsea, man. I'm gonna call that one a
No.
draw. 2-2. Timo Werner scores his first.
Timo Werner, and then also Havertz.
Nah, I won't put
We'll see
Havertz
though.
on the board, but let's call it 2-2.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a tie as well because we haven't seen a strong Chelsea, like you said, and we don't know how Southampton's gonna come out as well.
I don't know. I think I've been surprised by Southampton in many cases, but I think this one might be too much for them to come out with any type of positive result. I'm going to go ahead and say Chelsea's going to blow them out 3-0.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
Chelsea
Danny
looked
Ings
good.
with the brace, I say. Danny Ings comes out with the brace.
I
Did
mean,
did
Chelsea
Werner
have been looking good.
did Werner score over the international break?
I think he did.
Yeah, I did not watch any international football. It's just not appealing to me at all. It's not
Big
the World
question right
Cup or
now.
the Euros. I'm really not interested.
It was just friendlies, right? In a way. Or I think
Something,
it was for the Nations League as well.
whatever that is, whatever format they're playing there. All right, moving along. Last fixture for Saturday, we have Newcastle versus Manchester United. Discuss.
That's tough, man. I don't think
It's a tough
United's
one.
been. I don't think they've been on their game. It's hard to say. I'm gonna
Just to
go
kind of give,
Newcastle
just to give.
1-0.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I'm going with.
Newcastle's currently in ninth place, sitting on 7 points,
Yeah.
while Manchester United
Mine's
are in
16th
16th, sitting on 3 points.
with only
United are desperate for a
they do
win
have
They're
already.
3
they're a game
matches.
behind though, right? They
Yeah.
didn't play the first week too,
Yeah.
so you got to remember that.
Yeah. They have 3 matches played.
Regardless, for any Manchester United team, you don't want to be sitting in 16th
Yeah.
ever.
Being a big club,
Can't
you
argue
don't
with
want to
that.
be down that low. And then we have Man City on 14th.
I'm gonna go for a Newcastle 2-0 win. I think Saint Maximin is gonna carry them to another victory, and that's given if he plays, because I do believe he picked up another injury in the last match, but he's had 2 weeks to recover, so hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll play, because that guy's an absolute baller. But I'm predicting 2 to Newcastle, 0 to Manchester United.
2-0.
Yeah,
Okay.
same. To me, I'm thinking 1 or like 2-0 in favor of Newcastle. But who knows? Maybe Man U will wake up and handle business, but who knows?
And it also depends on their signings too. I don't know. Cavani could be, because you got to remember Martial is he should be facing a ban right now, right?
Yeah, till I think the 7th.
Yeah, he smacked I think Eric Lamela after Lamela provoked him, but still that means that Cavani could very well start. Diaz will probably start.
You got Rashford on the wing.
Yeah, they might be able to get a point back. But they haven't convinced me yet, so that's why I said 1-0.
Okay, that's a fair analysis, fair prediction. All right, moving along to Sunday. Get this train rolling. We got Sheffield versus Fulham.
Oof.
Both teams are at the bottom, so this is a classic battle of who wants to stay in the relegation zone.
Of who is not
Both
the worst
teams
at the moment.
are on 0 points.
Wow, after what, 4 matches already?
The only thing that separates them. Hold on. The only thing that separates them is a -3 differential, which Fulham are, I guess, doing better or worse than Sheffield.
You know what? I'm gonna be bold with this one. Sheffield United 3-0. Mitrovic. I'm sorry. Fulham 3-0. Mitrovic hat trick. Mitrovic hat trick.
I don't know. I don't know about this one. I think
I
it's gonna be
know
a draw.
it's gonna be
Honestly,
rough. Yeah,
it's
that's a hard
gonna
one to
be a
predict.
draw. I'm going for 1-1.
It's a hard one because I'm just gonna drop it as a draw, really, because it's like the two bottom teams playing to see who is not in the bottom anymore. It's more like they're just trying to scrap to like have life again.
Yeah, I don't know. This has not been the same Sheffield that we saw last season, so I feel pretty confident about my 1-1 prediction.
Okay.
Well, they did.
It's fair. It's a
Well,
good
they did. Well, they did lose their keeper too, so he was pretty solid.
Yeah, Dean
last season. Henderson
playing bench to De Gea.
Crazy.
went from starter to bench.
Mm-hmm. He went to go fight for a spot.
All right. Well, moving along, we'll do Crystal Palace versus Brighton.
Palace 2-0.
I gave it a Crystal Palace.
Ayu and Zaha on the board.
Zaha comes out, guns blazing.
Think so. I don't know. He's been kind of struggling as of late, but hopefully he'll start picking up some form. I'm gonna go ahead and say 2-1 to Crystal Palace as well.
Pretty
Giving
good.
Brighton a goal there. Okay.
Yeah, I think they got it. They got it within them. They have Aaron Connolly, who's been playing pretty well for them. What's his name? Neil Maupay.
Yep.
Maupay.
The guy who makes less than Matteo Guendouzi? Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Twat.
The guy who celebrated like that right away, and then this team got spanked. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I'm calling 2-1. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Spurs versus West Ham. We got both teams that are.
You know what?
They've been in form.
Is Son back? Is Sonaldo back?
I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be back for the game 2 weeks ago and dropped a hat trick. So I don't know. You tell me.
That's right. I thought he was injured. That's right. He did.
I'm gonna give it to Spurs. They've been handling. So West Ham's been 50-50 at times. So I'm gonna give the match to Tottenham.
I don't know, man. Something in my mind is telling me that West Ham is gonna continue to shock the world.
It's gonna be an upset.
Yeah. I don't know if it's really much an upset, but I feel like they have it within them to actually do something. I don't think they might necessarily win, but I don't think they're going to lose. Harry Kane's been firing on all cylinders. Sonaldo has been on fire as well. So that's kind of a scary.
They've had a great link-up play over the last few games. Both of them.
I don't know. I'm gonna say 1-1. I think it's just gonna be a London derby that both of them are gonna share the spoils.
That's fair. I'm gonna give it to Spuds. I'm gonna say 2-1 Tottenham.
Okay, fair enough. Willie, did you already say what your prediction was?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Tottenham. I give it 2-0.
Okay. Moving along, we got Leicester versus Aston Villa. This one looks pretty tasty, considering what we saw 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, two teams on fire.
Man, it's the perfect time for them to play each other. So, I I want to give it to Leicester. I want to give them. Yeah, I want to give them this one. I'm gonna go ahead and say 3-2.
Leicester 3.
I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. Both
I
teams
don't
look
think.
good.
I think Leicester does have the potential to score 3. I think they're gonna outclass Villa though. I think it's gonna be like a 3-1.
Okay. Uli, what do you think?
I would like to go with the underdog because Martinez has been handling at the goal
Oh, been doing
and
great.
he's been doing great and they've been in second place, so I'm gonna give it a close game. It could probably be 2-1 either side, or I would say even a draw maybe.
Okay. I just feel that, after 2 weeks ago when Leicester lost to West Ham 3-0, I think they're going to just come out swinging. I think
Blazing.
after riding that high off of beating Manchester City 5-2, they're going to look to try to replicate that same kind of, result. So I think that they're going to come out with a point to prove again, like, hey, we're sitting in third place right now. Like we're a team to be taken, seriously as as a top 4 contender. So, if I was the manager, man, I would be having fired up for this match.
Yeah.
All right, and then we do have 2 more matches, both being played on Monday, starting with West Brom versus Burnley.
Man, these games where I really don't care about the teams are kind of hard to predict.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't name other than Kieran Gibbo on West Brom. Burnley has what's his name? Uh,
Dwight McNeil, who just signed a new contract.
yeah, Ashley
Ashley Barnes.
Ashley Barnes. Burnley. So it's like I'm gonna call this one a draw. I'm gonna say 1-1. Can't really, don't really watch the teams, don't really know the players. This one's hard to predict.
I give it a draw as well because they are in the bottom 4, so who knows if they have all losses except West Brom has 1 draw, so who
Yep,
knows if
one
they will keep
one
that
point
form up.
separates them.
1
1 point
point.
separates him. 1 game
One
separates him. Burnley has 1 game in hand. I'm gonna go for a 0-0 draw just because
No
I have
goals.
the same reasons you do.
no goals, no goals.
I have the same reason you do, Sergio. I don't watch these teams enough, and I only know a handful of players from each of their respective teams. All right, last match. Ooh, we got Leeds
It's a
Yeah.
good one.
versus Wolves.
Yeah, this is a good one. You've seen Leeds can drop goals on big teams. And you know that even last season, I think last season Wolves were the only team to beat Manchester City both times or something like that, like some crazy stat like that.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
there's a
so.
double over them.
So I want okay. I'm gonna say that I support Raul Jimenez's run in Wolves. He's tearing it up. He's great, the Mexico striker. I'm gonna say Wolves is gonna win, but I think it's gonna be another pretty close game. I can't see it being a high scoring like a 4-3 or something, so I'm gonna say 3-2. That's what I'm going with.
Okay. I want to say Raul will keep up his run as well. Pedro Neto has been looking good too. I don't know. I want to say it's going to be 2-2. It's going to be a draw. Yeah, I have all draws for Monday.
I think it's gonna be a close game because for example, if Leeds comes out swinging just like they did versus Liverpool, then they claim my handle, and we will see with Wolves. They come back strong too. So I'm gonna say a draw, but either side can just pull out like just that goal needed, like to like get those 3 points. But I'm gonna say a draw,
Yeah.
like a 2-2 or 3-3.
Cool. Well, that wraps up all the fixtures for game week number 5. Some of these clubs still on number 4, but yeah, I mean, it looks like we got a couple of tasty games. Looks like at least tomorrow we're going to be treated to Everton versus Liverpool. So we got the Merseyside derby. We got
Ooh,
Manchester City versus Arsenal. And then Sunday, we're going to see another interesting fixture with Leicester versus Aston Villa. And then, of course, the last one that we just talked about, Leeds versus Wolves. So this whole weekend, chock full of football, chock
yeah.
full of
It's
very interesting
some
matches.
pretty good fixtures.
Yeah. I agree.
Pretty tasty weekend.
Can't wait.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, I think we already made it a little longer than we expected or wanted it to be. So, anything else you guys want to add? Final thoughts, closing thoughts?
It's party time, baby.
It's time to party.
Yep. Party time. I agree.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We will catch you guys next week. I know we did every other week for the past 2 sessions, but we'll be back next week. Now that we're kind of all set up and stuff, this will be the new background for me for a bit. I'll probably put the poster, the Arsenal America cloth flag right over here. But yeah, it's party time, guys. U2B, come on, you
Party
Gunners.
time.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Peace.
Peace.